Hello gamers and welcome to another YouTube video. Today it's on the BZ79 and you will not believe it. I hate the BZ75, but this one may just rock your world. Let's yap about the stats real quick. So first up, between the tier 11 BZ and the tier 10 BZ, this is basically stock on both. You see that they don't really change that much. It's not that much of an upgrade. You get a little bit more alpha on the BZ79, so better rate of fire. But outside of that, it, keeps -8, -20. So on paper, it doesn't look like it's really that much of an upgrade, to be honest, at all. When you go over all of these and you look at it, it's like, okay, they share a lot of similarities in a way, but in terms of upgrade, but fully upgraded, the difference goes a little bit further as well. But the thing is with this line, with the BZ79 compared to the BZ75, is that the BZ79 actually fixes all of the mistakes that the BZ75 has. So the reason why the BZ79 fixes all of the problems that the BZ75 has is simply because this tank has only 2 cupolas, and unlike the BZ75, these cupolas are actually very far in the back, giving the BZ75 a pretty potent hold-on way of peaking. And it's also just, in general, like a pretty comfortable tank to play around. It's also able to side scrape, and the way you can side scrape is like this. You always put the turret in a position where it's kind of covering. You see this backplate? You want to be covering this in almost every situation. So when you're side scraping, you simply use the turret to avoid them shooting you. And you can see when you side scrape like this, it's actually very, very effective. Not only are you hiding the cupolas, you're also making it so that this way, they're not going to be penning you. They're not penning you with APCR. They're not penning you with heat. They're not penning you with AP either. Although, the normalization kicking in there will help. So because of that, unlike the BZ75, it's actually very, very potent at both, just sitting in front of you, and at the same time, side scraping as well. I pretty speed all the upgrades, I guess. hell? That should be only one side you consider playing on this map in your BZ though. Gear going middle, 50V going middle, Rhino going middle. I feel like I have too much going middle to risk myself, you know? Oh, I suck, man. And now I'm in trouble because I suck. Dude, I'm actually terrible at the game. Holy shit. It's actually crazy. I'm actually terrible. Oh, they even left the cap. Fucking A, man. So, I think the reason why this BZ79 is so much more comfortable than the BZ75 is because of the boosters. You know, the BZ75 has more potent boosters, but this one actually ends up having the better boosters because you can activate them whenever, you can deactivate them whenever as well. In combination with a gun that just literally feels better than the BZ75. And not only that, that was a crazy pen. It doesn't help that there's a guy behind me driving in my ass, but nonetheless. The side scrape potential, the small profile of the tank, and the boosters, and just like all around solid armor. I honestly think this is one of the better tier 11s. Like at first, I mean, I knew the boosters were going to be comfortable, but I didn't know how potent the tank was actually going to turn out to be. So you can see here we're just side scraping against the tunnel, looking for those weak tanks, and I think my replay is still working just fine. I just lagged for a second. Beautiful. Love to see that. You didn't miss anything. I just killed the i7 and drove back. But for just trading purposes with the 700 alpha, that was a terrible shot, by the way. This tank works out rather well. The enemies are trying to push the tunnel, and that's the good thing about the current MM, is that there's just so much HP, giving you always an opportunity to do some damage. And these peaks are a true disaster, to be honest. Like, this is the how not to play your BZ79 in the beginning of the game. You should be side scraping, and you can see that, you know, when you play it like a donkey, you also get punished like one. So we lost a lot of HP here in the beginning because we played like a very non-intelligent. We tapped the 279 though, and we won't even make it around the corner on time. He gives this one back, down to 600 HP. But the beauty of this tank is that it's able to perform even in these scenarios that are like this one. The mouse is coming in, you know, tanking the damage, a real hero. So we look at the i7, we want to make the kill. We are going to be able to do it as well. Shoot at the right moment. 4K, 600 HP. Who knows what's still possible. The mouse acting as a sponge, you love to see it. Better than some of the mouses I've seen so far dispatched that are sitting in the red line. That was actually a terrible shot, to be honest. And we decided to boost past into the Kran. And let's see. So apparently a good decision. Kran hits the gun on the first, knocks out the gun on the second. That's actually a little annoying because we cannot shoot back. And he does get it on the third. We do give him a little bit of damage back. And another thing that this tank is just able to do with these liquid boosters, if you want to call them, is these little mini rams. And you may think that it doesn't do that much, but that is 400 damage out of just basically boosting into the Kran. And when somebody doesn't have controlled impact and you use the momentum to ram into them, the BZ79 actually ends up being very potent with those rams. Altogether, and just like the general confidence of the booster, being able to relocate, being able to even boost forward when somebody's trying to peek you, those micro adjustments give this tank a very high comfortability level. And of course, because this has 700 alpha, it makes it a bit easier to play for many players, because, you know, it's way easier to do damage, right? Big HE shell into the back of the tier 3. We use the booster to make sure we're safe because we see the Leo, and because of that, you know, with this relocation, with this gun, he has 7.5k damage. It's pretty effective. Of course, it's still a Chinese gun, so sometimes it's going to miss like that. Could have maybe aimed it slightly longer, but nonetheless, doesn't really matter. We were able to get close enough. Using the booster again to get around the corner quickly to find the peak, to get the shot, not allowing him to go in safety, of extending his life a little bit. That's a quick 8k altogether, not too bad. And yeah, this tank is just a very potent combination of every factor that you may find in the game currently. Alpha, speed, good armor. The gun, the biggest drawback, it goes super low. But it's okay nonetheless. Could have been 9k if we hit that, but we didn't, so it is what it is. Find one more shot. 8.9 out of this trading scenario. Pretty good if you ask me. So in the second replay, you'll also see, I think, close-up trading, because with this tank we don't go behind the bush, we decide to trade up close because of that alpha. And again, these boosters are just very comfortable to have. Very nice, you know, getting into position in the beginning. It's not as potent as the BZ. Again, that's where the balance factor lies, I guess, is that these rockets, they, like, the entire tank is not as fast as the BZ-75 and it's using the rockets. So while you get more comfortable boosters, they don't end up being more potent, at least to get to initial position. So there's that. And we're going below the bridge. We take one from the hacker. We don't actually shoot at the 277 because we thought the hacker would repeak. But the beauty again of this gun, you know, I mean, doesn't really matter about this gun, but you know, in general, 277 exposes this engine deck. Engine deck is a straight pen for this. I think it's even an overmatch, but it's a pen 100%. And now you can see what we talked about. It's side scraping with the gun, covering the, or trying to cover the engine weak spot. That way, it makes the life a lot harder for the opponents to try and get the pen out. And it also means that when they're looking at your tank and the turret is shielding the engine, they will not realize that they can shoot it. Like when you see me peek like this, I'm trying to shield the engine weak spot as much as possible. That way, they will be aiming, for example, at the cupola, which is tied into combat vision, and not at the spot that they could probably shoot the easiest. Big bounce on against the hacker, slightly too much to the left, but we already have 2k out of this, so, you know, not too bad. And the hacker this time around is going to get punished for that. Yeah, the hacker might be a formidable tank, like a really amazing tank, but in these close range scenarios, this is not where it shines. He's making another mistake, but luckily enough, don't punish the IS-32 instead for that. And it's just a farm fiesta at this point. And you can see that the gun with this DPM and alpha is just able to put out round after round after round. Something that the BZ-75 again cannot. That's actually an unfortunate bounce, to be honest. When you look at it, at what was spendable, you see that the shell fizzling out there is actually unfortunate. I think I decided to switch to AP here, which I don't even know if it was the right decision, to be honest. Because now I can only pen the back of his turret of the IS-4. So, you see, like, you know, I can shoot the back, I do hit the back, but I feel like the heat there was able to do way more pen on the turret itself. However, aim for the cupola. We hit the cupola. I mean, the shot was well timed, but of course you need RNG to be in your favor to hit such a thing. And, you know, this tank, it just slaps. It just slaps over this close range engagements. It's just able to get those shots. And then even in those close range engagements, you're able to relocate pretty effectively, simply because of the liquid boosters. And I'm gonna be honest, this game, the gun didn't really miss much. We hit the 277 as well. You can be missing those, to be honest. It does happen. But, you know, it's 7-2. We have 5.5k damage. It's a pretty good game already, nonetheless. With the tier 11s, we aim for about 6k per game now. You know, 1,000 extra from tier 10. That's the way it goes. Had a shot against the 277 as well. And yeah, you can see those boosters just working for those micro adjustments, something that you could never do with the BZ75 altogether. We did take a shot from the Cobra and the 277, so the trade was not that great, but you know, the game is coming to an end. We had a lot of HP. We can afford a mistake, let's put it that way. And again, using those little boosters just to get up in position quicker, so I can start aiming quicker, so I can shoot them quicker, then using it again to readjust and getting behind the corner before the Taschenrate peaks. And I don't know if the skill issue comes out now. No, using the boosters again, this time to pen his lower plate. Things the BZ75 could never. So, you know, this tank, very, very nice, especially when you get the hang of it. Is the skill issue now? Oh yeah, the skill issue is... No, not yet. Actually, maybe there was no skill issue against Taschenrate. Usually I have a skill issue against Taschenrates. Maybe this time I don't have one. I don't remember. Maybe it comes now. Oh, yeah, never mind. Okay. Well, the skill issue came through after all, to be honest. You know, at the very end.